Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome to our Elite Podcast Show with your boy Sarge. Man, it's Sunday fun day, man. Hopefully, everybody's making it home safe from being on that highway, doing your thing, rocking and rolling across time zone and splitting state lanes, man. But we're on the day, man. We're talking motorcycling. It's the Iron Elite Podcast Show. And I got a special guest, man. It's the West Coast edition. So let everybody know we're on. Share it with a friend. Kane 4L. Let's go. I was asked the other day, hey Sarge, why you never play any fast music on your podcast? It's simple. I'm petty.
Hold it up, don't truck it up, rev your motors up. If it ain't clean, get your polish up. Big sword, you a true real king of the south. If you ain't getting y'all gotta keep it motorcycle, you dig? Hold it up, don't truck it up, rev your motors up. If it ain't clean, get your polish up. Big sword, you a true real king of the south. If you ain't getting y'all gotta keep it motorcycle, you dig? Slide on my road glide, looking so fly. 20-inch rollback, screaming eagle torque pack. I-10 to the end, it's a known patch. If you ain't a ground pounder, pay attention, fall back. We iron elite boys, no need for hitting switches. We split lanes and holding lanes, we on a mission. On our way to CA, we 100 deep. Hold it up, y'all the road, run it up, rip it up. Hold it up, don't truck it up, rev your motors up. If it ain't clean, get your polish up. Big sword, you in charge, real king of the south. If you ain't getting yonder, gotta keep it motorcycle, you dig? Hold it up, don't truck it up, rev your motors up. If it ain't clean, get your polish up. Big sword, you in charge, real king of the south. If you ain't getting yonder, gotta keep it motorcycle, you dig? I'm outside with it, I scrape the town burning loud when the smoke clear up. You know I hardly did it, I'm real naughty with it. My ride clean when it bling, I show the lean on the scene to get jiggy with it. No did it, get it, I'm well equipped it. My bike side got a side, so you know I'm hit. She dropped it down and split it, backed it up to shift it. Let me kick a little game to you lames riding around here, giving a set a bad name. It don't matter what you rank or what you claim. When we turn it up, you keep it motorcycling, man. My soul brothers, they roll runners, we rolling deep. When it's time to rally up, it's Black Wall Street. When you see them MCs at the RTE, roll it up, down the road, run it up, rip it up. Hold it up, don't truck it up, rev your motors up. If it ain't clean, get your polish up. Big sword, you in charge, real king of the south. If you ain't getting yonder, gotta keep it motorcycle, you dig? Hold it up, don't truck it up, rev your motors up. If it ain't clean, get your polish up. Big sword, you in charge, real king of the south. If you ain't getting yonder, gotta keep it motorcycle, you dig?
But Sarge, why you always gotta talk about motorcycling? Sarge, why you don't never talk about nothing else? Look here, man. If you gonna do all that crying, what the baby gonna do? Hey again, good evening everybody and welcome to the Iron Elite Podcast Show with your boy Sarge. Man, we talking motorcycling back to back today. Man, so we're doing a back to back show today. I want to bring special mention to some great riders that I've got that are still coming back, finishing off their I-10 to the end. Man, it's the K9MC. Man, them Thundercats were getting it out there last week, man. I got a bunch of calls, but Sarge, they ride too hard. Sarge, is the weather too crazy? Man, them boys are Thundercats, man. They were going to do what they were going to do, and they didn't care what Sarge had to say. They said, sit down, we got this, man. So I sat down and got out the way, man. They did their thing, man. Shout out to my brothers from Unleashed Beast, man, that came through from Killeen, Texas, did their thing. Front brake and cornbread, and shout out to Reb Reed Dollar, man, just finished up from the Savannah Reb Reed chapter. And I got my two brothers that'll be getting out the gate tomorrow morning, man. So we don't stop, won't stop on this I-10 to the end. But that's not the reason we're here, man. We're here this evening. Sorry, I'm used to morning shows. But we're here this evening, man, to talk to Emma B, man. It's the West Coast edition. It's the women's edition, man. So without further ado, family, how are you? How are you doing today?
Hey, Sarge, how's it going?
I'm good, man. Simplify to you, ma'am.
Oh, yeah.
All right, that's what's up. So I'm going to let you, if you don't mind, to introduce yourself to everybody and tell the world a little bit about you before we talk about your epic cross-the-country motorcycle ride. The floor is yours.
Well, I'm Emma B. I've been riding for about 14 years. I did 9 years on sport bikes, and I've been on Harleys for about 5 years. So I'm active duty, so it's hard for me to do long distances, but I try to make one happen once a year.
Good stuff, man. But I'm telling you, I'm just say this: you got the cheat code. You in good shape. Hey, for us old fat retired guys, man, we have to spend a little more time trying to get it together and do our thing. But we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about a motorcycle ride. And for those that are coming on with us this evening, man, if you guys would be so kind to reach up and hit the like button, man, so we get the algorithms going and get the show pushing. We're on talking to Emma B about her coast to coast motorcycle ride. I want to say close to 6,000 miles when you were done. Probably over 6 grand, wasn't it?
It was just under 7,000.
Holy smoke. What the
Yeah.
heck do you think you doing on a Harley Davidson motorcycle? So, she came from the sport bike side like the most of us did and then graduated on to Harley. So it's a process to this. Most people say, man, especially the people I work with, Sarge, you crazy, man, riding a motorcycle and doing all that stuff. Bro, it's lanes for this stuff. You don't start off overnight riding like MLB did. You kind of work your way up to this
Yeah.
thing, and then you get to the point where
Especially
you're,
being 5'2". You got to gain your
yeah,
confidence up on that
yeah,
thousand
and
pound
then
bike. Yeah.
yeah, then she's vertically challenged on 5'2" on a 900-pound beast, man, getting it in and getting it out there. So we're gonna let her talk about it today. We're gonna talk about her ride, man. So as you guys will see in the next couple of days, we're gonna be the series of my West Coast folks getting it in. So today we're gonna really focus in on what Emma B's ride was all about. So I'm gonna say this, and I ain't gonna say too much because I know we got operation secrets and codes and stuff we have to do. So yours was a little bit different because obviously you had to come from overseas in a matter of a few days, kind of get your clock together, and then you had to get on your Harley and continue to cross time zones. Am I correct?
Yeah. So I was on a 6-month deployment. Um, when I came back to America, I think I got into my bed around like 1 in the morning on Wednesday morning, and then by 4 in the morning on Saturday, I was on ground heading to Santa Monica Pier to hit I-10 to the end.
Holy smoke. So where you were, and it's up to you whether or not you want to tell us where you were, but where you were, is it safe to say you were probably at least what, 5 hours from Conus as
Oh
far as
yeah,
time
I can
zone?
say where I was at. I was in Australia,
Okay.
so the
Okay.
time zone was like a day and a half almost. And on top of that, we drive
Yeah.
on the wrong side of the road over there, and the
Oh
steering wheel's on
yeah.
the opposite side. So coming from that and then
Facts.
straight to get on a bike and go cross country was a little, it
Yeah.
was a little much. But
Yeah. Matter of fact, that's interesting now that you say that because they're probably from Australia crossing the international date line. I would say probably from Australia to Jacksonville, Florida. What is it? 12 hours? It might be more than 12 hours, isn't it?
I don't
Time
even
zones are
know.
different. It's
Yeah.
it's huge. It's huge. I'm gonna Google it. Everybody in the chat who ain't had a chance to Google it, Google your boy. But I think it's minimum 12 hours. It might even be more than that. The time zones are, and I make that point because you've got to be in pretty good condition because what you did was you flipped time zones in a matter of just a few hours, and then you had to get on a motorcycle and do what most of us think normally is pretty challenging to come across three time zone changes after you've come from several time zone changes and to be able to have your biological, not biological, what I want to say, your circadian rhythm, I think I'm trying to say, that just constantly going on and on and on. So I'm gonna leave it like that. So, okay, so ma'am, how do we prepare to make a cross country ride coming from
Uh,
Australia? Was this just something that you did on talent or just mental experience?
um, I mean, so last summer I had done a ride to Chattanooga by myself. Lil Mama coached me through that one. So that was the one where I was stressed out. My dog would bark, planning everything. This one I kind of had everything set aside. My biggest concern was my new bike because I bought a 2025 Road Glide 2 weeks before I went on deployment, and then while I was gone, I had my friend, he installed new bars, a 21-inch front rim, all the stuff that I was not used to. So for me, I was more concerned, just mentally prepared to ride a whole different bike with a whole different setup.
Oh, facts. The bars in itself makes the you know. What was the size bars you had on? Because you had pretty
Uh,
big bars on it when I saw it, wasn't it?
No, I don't like to do big bars because I'm a small person, so I like to be able to
Okay.
dip my bike. So I just had the Kraus at they're just on 12-inch risers, so they're not too tall.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Wasn't too bad. Okay.
Yeah, but the
Wasn't
the
too
bigger
bad.
front wheel when I was maneuvering slower, that was something I had to get used to.
Oh, did you have a 21 on it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That makes a difference. I think on the highway is really nice, but I think when it's time to maneuver in and out of parking lots and those things, you really feel a difference on it. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's where I
Okay.
felt it.
D Bell said 15 hours. So if D Bell said it, I believe it because D Bell always has all the information. He can Google everything. Matter of fact, shout out to D Bell. He's actually one of our I-10 to the end ambassadors. Matter of fact, D Bell actually pulled up on you guys in Texas. He was one of the guys that met you guys out there. Him and
All right.
Reef. Yeah, pulled up on you guys out there in Texas. So shout out to D Bell, man. Anybody knows D Bell, you know I will fight you about the bells. So for those that are coming on again, man, reach up, hit the like button, man, so we get the algorithms going and we can get the show popping. But we're on today. We're talking to Emma B. Coast to coast ride, man, from the West Coast to the East Coast. Some almost 7,000 miles, man, of total motorcycle riding coming from the way of being deployed from Australia to California, and then was crazy enough to think that she can ride a motorcycle to the East Coast, man. But she did it. So, ma'am, so 2025 Road Glide. So you got a nice motorcycle, a beautiful motorcycle, new bars on it, all the bells and whistles, all the oohs and the ahs. So tell me, okay, so planning this stuff, I'm thinking that you're probably planning a couple, 2, 3 weeks out. How did you plan to execute this? Okay, now I'm taking my bike because you're taking your bike basically out of storage, am I right, or in your garage or whatever, in Conus, right?
Yep.
What were some of the steps that you put in place to prepare yourself to get this bike ready for this ride?
So like I said, I'm lucky enough. One of my really good friends, he he's a mechanic out of his garage, so he picked my bike up from my garage, put it in his garage, did everything I needed, the oil change that I needed because I think I put about 1,100 miles on it right before deployment. So he did the 3-hole oil change for me. He made sure all the bars and everything were set up good. So since it was so new and not that many miles on it, I thought that I was good to go. Yeah, no.
Anyway, anyway, continue.
um So yeah, I think the first time I actually rode the bike was when I left to go to Santa Monica to start the ride, and I
Wow.
had no issues
So
with it.
okay, so really it was still, there's 1,000 mile break in, but let's be honest, on those motors, it probably need to be more like 3,000 to be honest with you. But so you'd had 1,000 mile break in, and then the bike set for quite a while. So it was almost like starting from scratch all over again. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay. So we whip it out because it's new. So we still whip it out. We think we're ready to go. So at this point, so tires, everything is still stock, everything on the bike. Am I correct?
Well, when he put the aftermarket rims for me, he had put new
Yeah.
tires, and so
Oh, okay.
on the back tire it was a Shinko, and that's what we guys were
Oh,
talking about earlier. I guess
okay.
I never paid attention too much about tires, right? Like
Right,
as
right,
long as it had tread, like I was good with
right.
it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
apparently the Shinko 777s, as we got going to Santa Monica, um, somebody's behind me and they're like, "Are you good?" Because the road was kind of slick and it looked like I was fishtailing
Mm-hmm.
a little bit, but we weren't going too fast. So
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "I'm like, maybe I'm tripping because I don't know how to ride my bike that well right now because I've been gone for so long."
Mm-hmm.
But as the sun started coming up and we started heading towards Palm Springs, like the bike, as soon as I would get over 80 miles an hour, it wasn't right. The back was just wobbling and finally got to a point where I had to fall back a little bit because I was going from side to side in the lane and I didn't want to hit anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So we pulled off in Palm Springs Harley, and luckily they hooked us up. They took that little Shinko 777 off of there, and they were able to install one of their Dunlaps that they have, and we're good from there.
And I'm not here to beat up on any type of particular tire manufacturer or whatever, but I'm just kind of curious. When Harley saw the tire, did they have any? Did they say, "Hey, get this off here. Don't use that tire"? Did they say anything particular about that
I'm gonna be honest
to
with you.
you?
I didn't buy it from Harley. I'm pretty sure that when
Okay,
I ordered the rims, the rim company
yeah,
sent it with
done
the
it.
set. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Harley necessarily. My thought process, and I'm just saying this, and again, for everybody that's out here watching today, it's not to because I don't get endorsed by any particular brand or tire or whatever, but I know, of course, I go to the West Coast a lot. Shout out to my soul brothers, man, always out on the West Coast, and I know typically we can get those Shinkos out there for a really good price, and I know it's a lot of this. There's a lot of stunting out there on Harley, so getting sideways and stunt riding and stuff. And the Shinkos are really, really inexpensive for the guys to get. So they know they're going to be tearing those tires up real fast. So they'll get a bunch of them because they
Right.
know they're going to tear them up. But I think personally, and you can expand upon this as we're talking about it, I think a good quality touring tire is the best tire to have on your Harley when you're talking about riding long distances. What's your opinion on that?
So like I said, on my last bike, all I ever run are just the Harley Dunlaps that they sell. And I'm not gonna lie,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what they're called. I've just
Mm-hmm.
always ran them, and when I've ridden cross country before, I've had no issues.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the first time I've had anything other than that type of tire,
Than
and
a Dunlop
it
tire.
turned me off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool. Like I said, we're not gonna beat it to death, but it's just my opinion on some things. When I rode a CBR, I had a double R, and Shinkos was what I actually want to say it was the Shinko Raven. And on sport bikes, we know what we did on sport bikes. We obeyed traffic laws, and we didn't wheelies, and we didn't burn out. We didn't do none of that stuff. But that's what the tire we normally have. But okay, so we take off at the gate because now we've got aftermarket rims on the bike because the rims you had do look good. You was profiling. So when we took off, Now we've got a different type of tire, and then we found out how long. By the way, was that tire that bike just kind of sitting there? Was it brand? Was it a tire that was just put on recently? Was it just been sitting for a while?
No, so my friend, when he picked it up to work on it, he picked it up maybe my last 4 weeks before coming back. So and the rims were like the last thing to get installed because we were waiting on some rotors. Um, so they weren't sitting on there very long. I would say maybe 2 weeks tops, and he did ride the bike around. So they weren't sitting for
Okay,
long.
fair. Okay, fair enough. Sometimes things happen. So fair enough. Okay, so we get out the gate, we leave LA. I think you guys left LA, what is it, about 4 in the morning? It might have been about 4 in the morning at the time.
We left to LA. So because we were like in the IE
Oh, that's
area.
right. Yeah, that's
So
right. You had to come
we
from
had to
okay.
ride maybe an hour and a half. So we left
To
to
get
go to Santa Monica at like 4.
okay. Okay, cool, cool. So once we matter of fact, let's talk about because I don't know how the weather is in Australia this time of year. Is it coming close to summer in Australia this time of year?
Yes, but their summer is the
Is
torrential downpour season. So when I was there, it was
okay.
their winter, but it was
Yeah.
like 90 and 85 degrees, or 90 and 85 humidity, like every day.
Okay. So it's
Yeah.
like yeah, it's like Florida. Yeah, it's like
hmm
Florida type weather. So it's nothing different. So for this ride, because I think you took off at the end of September, was there any particular clothing that you carry? Because I know you guys caught a lot of rain while you was on the road. What was some of the equipment that you packed on your ride?
So I brought my rain suit, obviously, and then I like to wear leggings under my jeans when it's cold, so I bring that
Mm-hmm.
and my different types of gloves. The funny thing that I did not do on this ride that I've done previously is usually I bring my leather boots. I always ride in boots.
Mm-hmm.
So usually I bring my leather boots. This time I have some Doc Martens that are they're thick, but they're like fabric.
Mm-hmm.
And people like your feet are gonna get wet. Even with the leather boots, my feet get wet. But with the fabric boots, they get wet, and then at least they dry as soon as the sun comes out really quick. So that's really all I
Okay.
packed for the weather considerations.
Okay. So no issues with cold weather or anything like that, right?
Mm-mm.
Okay, cool, cool. So, because I think you guys actually went across in the best time of year. I call it the cheat code. September, October. I am like September, October, April, beginning of May is just beautiful weather. Beautiful weather. This is the bike right here. Am I looking at it right? Is this correct?
That is her.
That's her.
Right before my end cap of my pipe flew off.
Okay, we gonna get there. We gonna get there. Good looking bike. Good looking bike. Very nice looking bike. So okay, so we'll move along. So we didn't have to pack a bunch of really cold weather type clothes. It was mostly like hoodies. You said you wore leggings and do you use any type of riding gear other than just jeans or in chaps or stuff like that?
Just my riding jacket from Harley. I don't
Okay,
have like any heated gear. I have cooled gear because last year when I did a ride, it was like triple digits. So I was focused more on the cooling gear then.
okay. Was it so you guys experienced a lot of hot weather on the road?
No, I would say this trip,
Yeah.
the weather was not too bad. I mean, aside from the rain, but like
Uh-huh.
temperature wise, it was pretty nice, I would say.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Hey, y'all, we got royalty in the house, man. We got little mama, man. You know how she get down, man. She's a friend of the podcast. Shout out to little mama doing her thing, man. She's always coming in and helping when I need help on things, man. So shout out to her. So, okay. So good weather. You know, you're making this tough for me, right? Great weather,
The
good
temperature,
stuff.
I was kind of tripped out when we were going through Arizona and there were legit like baby dust tornadoes.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And they were
Yeah.
in our rear view, luckily, but it was like they were chasing us.
Yeah, yeah. You see that a lot going through Arizona as well as matter of fact from Arizona all the way to Western Texas. You see that quite a bit. Okay, so we got relatively moderate gear. You know, you said you put a big emphasis on the boots because obviously wet feet and those type of things. Looks like from what I saw in the picture, module helmet. That what you rock with a module helmet?
Hmm. Yep.
Okay, good. Thank you. I appreciate that.
No,
You
I
know, do you,
actually it took me years to convert over to the modular helmet. I was always strictly full face because um what maybe in 2022 I actually got in an accident and I was wearing a full face and I lost my two front teeth with a
wow,
full face. So I was
wow,
very hesitant to rock a modular.
wow, really?
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'll see people, and we talked about this the last show with the down the pound guys, man. You know, some of the funky helmets that they got coming up today. I will say this, and you can follow up on this, maybe invest in your headgear. Invest in good quality headgear, man. Don't play around. No shout out to Psycho Gear, but I just gotta see it. Watch it with those built helmets. If the helmet is $70, bro, I
It's
don't
for a
know.
reason.
It's for a reason, man. Get you quality headgear. Do not skimp on your headgear. I'm not going to endorse a particular one, but do your homework and get your quality headgear. If it costs too much, it probably costs too much for a reason, and that's probably why you should invest in it because you only got one brain. Is that fair?
And make sure it fits right. I always get on all the bros because everybody
Yeah.
want to rock a triple XL. And I'm like, I can fit my
So
whole hand in
so
your
so
cheeks.
your helmet's doing
Yeah,
like
I don't care
this.
who gave it to you. It does not
Yeah.
fit you.
Yeah, don't do it, man. Make sure, and that's what I like about Psycho Gear and some of the other places that they have. You know, some of the guys who are pros to teach you how to properly fit. And when you buy a helmet from those places, please take the time to fit it. And if you don't understand how the helmet should fit, talk to one of their guys there so they can probably make sure you're fitting and doing the right thing. And if that doesn't work, go on YouTube, man, and do some homework and research on that because there's nothing worse than having a loose fitting helmet. I know it's convenient for you when you're rocking, but you want something snug. You don't want something too tight, like you went like a. Never mind. I was gonna say some dumbass joke, but I ain't gonna say it. You don't want. You know, like you wearing a head condom. Wear a properly fitting helmet so it's not putting a whole lot of pressure and impact on your head and your jaw and stuff like that. So Again, so okay, so we talked a little bit about the equipment. We talked a little bit about the bike. So let's talk about the ride itself. This is your second time you said across the country.
Yeah, well, last summer I did. It wasn't fully across the country, but I went to Chattanooga, Tennessee.
That's pretty
But I went
close.
solo. Hmm.
Okay, okay. So this, when you went across to Chattanooga, you took what I want to say probably the 40
Yes, I took the northern route because it
south.
was way too
Yeah,
hot to go
yeah,
south. Hmm.
yeah. So taking the 10, was this the first time taking the 10?
On a bike, yep. Oh,
So what do you think? What were some things about the 10 that you didn't know and you learned the hard way? What were some things? What should we know about the 10?
well, first off, obviously it takes forever and a day to get through Texas because that goes through like the widest part of Texas. Um, but other than that, I wouldn't say anything crazy. I've been on a bunch of different freeways, but I will say I think in Louisiana, the roads were kind of rough when we went through there at night. So
Raggedy.
there's a lot of potholes and stuff that you can't see too
True.
well.
True. True. Uh, the 10. What do you think when we're getting, from say California to Western Texas? Would you say it's all the same, or is there a big difference?
As far as
The roads, conditions, scenery.
uh I didn't notice too much of a difference on the road, to be honest. The scenery obviously I think was really pretty, like going through Arizona and Utah. And I think in Texas there's really no there ain't
Just a
nothing
bunch
nice
of
to look at really.
just
It's
just
just
just a bunch of nothing. Desert.
right. Hmm.
Yeah, bunch of desert. Would you think that if you were suggesting this to a rider, say a young lady or a young guy for the first time that's getting ready to make this ride, has never rode across the country before, what would be some advice that you would give to them as far as conditioning themselves to take this ride? Because me and you both know it takes a lot to sit in that saddle for a long time.
Hmm. I would say obviously just build up your endurance for sure. I think the guys were saying on the earlier podcast, it's not any 4 hour 5 hour trip. If you did that, you'd be riding forever. So definitely condition yourself and then know when your body's tired because when you're going, especially somebody small like me. I can be going, I feel great, and then as soon as I stop to the gas station I can't even feel my legs, and I'm trying to hold this big old heavy bike up. And that's when I know, like, okay, I could probably go another 150 miles, but I should find somewhere to pull over at. Because you kind of learn, like, your body's signals to yourself on what you can and can't do.
Yeah, yeah. So while you guys were out there, specifically you, were there any? What was your rhythm say for what was your eat plan, hydration plan, your rest plan? Was there any particular thing that you did for stretching? What was your technique to be able to navigate that?
My hydration plan is an energy drink at every single gas station, but I have a camel pack
Okay,
that I kept
okay.
on me that I filled with electrolytes. And usually the body armor drinks is what gets me, keeps me up pretty good. And then other than that, it's just go.
Just go. Okay, okay. Well, youth is a gift. Now, when you get Sarge age, now, hey,
Hey, but I'm like
homie.
50 in military years, okay?
Yeah,
I'm
that's
up there in
true.
military
Yeah,
years.
military. Yeah, military years are like dog years. It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're a senior citizen in military years, but I'm telling you, for the average Joe Blow now, if you're not a top flight military service person or athlete or whatever, boy, you're behind. Better make sure you hydrate properly, because
Yep.
yeah, it will. What they say, when keeping it real go wrong, it will go wrong if you ain't careful. So are you one of those people that say, I go all day and I eat at the end of the day, or do I snack during the day, or do I get a breakfast before I take off? What's your technique for that?
I typically grab a snack at every gas station and I try.
Okay.
Usually at the beginning of the day, I'm better at it. And by the end of the day, I'm eating junk. But I usually try to get like those Chobani, like protein yogurts, hard boiled
Right.
eggs, like things like that, that actually fuel my body. But by the end of
Okay.
the day, I'm eating, hot Cheetos and
Okay. We've been there. All of us been there.
yeah.
Hey, on the outlaw side, they smoking a cigarella. They drinking a, never mind.
Yeah.
And they eating a honey bun. I tell you, for the rest of us, man, hey, I like what she said. The yogurt, bananas for potassium, good water, Pedialyte, adult Pedialyte is a good thing because, the 10, even that we think, what do you say? Was she drinking Mountain Dew and sunflower seeds? I think that's my down to pound gas. That's what outlaws do. You wasn't drinking on Mountain Dew, were you? That's what
I was
that's what my
not.
outlaws
I was
do.
scolding them for filling their camel packs with Mountain Dew.
Hey, man, let's be honest. There's some things you can do when you're young that you can't get away when you're old. So enjoy the ride, homie. Enjoy the ride. But again, so taking it back to seriousness, the adult Pedialyte is a great thing. As she was saying, the camel pack I think is a big deal because it gives you the ability to hydrate before every 2 to 3 hours for a gas stop. So your body's just consistently, because on the bike, I don't know, you tell me, Emma, on the bike, there's a lot of wind, there's a lot of things that are sucking the moisture out your body. So staying hydrated is a really important thing. Mm-hmm. So the camel pack, is that something that you learned from the military? You just took to the bike world, or is that just
Pretty much.
just your?
Yeah, for me personally, that's what I did. Yeah.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you on that. Okay, so when you pound long distance, what is your threshold for pain? Are you I'm a 12-hour kind of gal, I'm a 14-hour kind of gal, I'm an 8-hour kind of gal? What is your normal threshold for pain before you say, okay, time for me to shut it on down?
So when I'm on my own, like when I did my trip by myself last year, I had no problem doing between 12 and 14 hours every day. Like I got to Chattanooga, I think in under 2.5 days. But now riding with a group, that's a little.
Yeah, it's a little bit more.
It's
Gas
a little
stops a little
more.
longer.
Gas stops are longer. It's a little bit more mentally exhausting because you got to be mindful of where the other people that you're riding with are. You can't just free for all in the lane while you're going.
Facts. Would you say? Well, I think you almost answered it. Is it more difficult the bigger the group? Because let me say this. Okay, so when I first started riding long distance, the wife be like, "Man, I really wish you had somebody to ride with you." And I'd be like, "Why?" She'd say, "Because of safety and those type." And those things are real. But I ain't gonna lie, as I get older, the more I ride by myself, the easier it is. And it's not because the people that I ride with or anything different. It's because I have so many things that have to take into point. Safety, riders behind me, riders in front of me, riders to the side of me, maintenance, gas stations, blah, 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 sleep plan, who's in good health, who ain't in good health. Do you look at it the same way?
Yeah, and to be honest, I never thought about it because, I've ridden in bigger packs like 4 or 5 hours to Arizona, and it's been, not a big deal. But man, I had to humble myself because the first gas stop that we got to, and I was like, why we been here 4 or 5 minutes for?
Yeah.
But 85% of the group wanted to be there for 45 minutes. So I had to shut the hell up and just, roll with it and try to learn like what this new rhythm of the ride's going to look like.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Because you don't know, especially if it's things. I did a podcast last year, and I'll do again this year. It's called The Uncomfortable Conversation. And that's been in the military too. There's some things that we have to talk about prior to the deployment. There's some things that we have to talk about when we're in the operation. And there's some things that are common to all. When we're riding in a group, I need to know your health situation because it could be people that you're riding with could have high blood pressure, diabetes, sleep apnea, and those type of things. And if you're not acutely aware of that, you can push somebody into harm's way. Is that
that
fair?
That is something that we did address because there was someone in our group that had health concerns. So we were aware of that. You know what I'm saying? We were aware that if that individual needed to stop longer, go slower, whatever the case was, like we were all down for that. But that didn't mean a 45-minute gas. In my mind, it's not 45 minutes at every gas stop just because,
Well, it wasn't 45 to them. It was 45 to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm going to tell you again, on the God bless us as outlaw, on the outlaw side, them boys want to stop and get breakfast after 90 miles. So I'm just telling you, it's a whole different world. But okay, but and again, hopefully for everybody that's out there that's listening to this show, those are real things that you have to, take into account when we do these long distance rides. See, if you're doing a chilling circuit, 200-300 miles, maybe this might not be something that you have to be aware of. But when you're doing like, MLB is doing, you're doing, 7,000 miles, those are real things you have to think about and consider. Sleep, rest, hydration, food, stretching, people's threshold for pain. As she said, 14 hours is her normal threshold. 14 hours for probably most of those riders who are gassing and going. We're talking about 800 miles. That's a long time. That's yonder if you hadn't figured it out. That's a long time to be riding. Okay, so, all right, so moving along. So have we ever rode east of Houston on the 10?
No.
Was that different? And if it was, give me an explanation. As if I live in Southern California and I'm getting ready to go over to Eastern Houston and I'm finna go to the deep South. What should I expect as a motorcycle rider riding your time of the year?
Again, through Louisiana, I got bit the hell up by bugs through my jeans, through my gloves, through everything. Like the other people didn't have that problem. I don't know. I have sweet blood, but I had welts on my leg just from stopping at the gas station, getting bit up by them bugs. So yeah, for sure, I remember that for sure from the ride because it pissed me off. Yeah, bug repellent was not on my list of things to pack.
So it was okay. So, down south, we have these things called bugs. A lot of them. We have bugs. So, what about say humidity? Was the humidity a big thing for you, a big deal for you coming from living in Southern California where there's really no humidity?
This time around, I don't think so because, like I said, I was in Australia where it was like 90 degrees or
Oh yeah, that's
90%
true.
humidity. But like last year when I rode and I went through Arkansas, I know that's not on the 10, but the humidity there like slapped me in the face. So, but I think this time around I was a little more conditioned for that type of weather.
Okay. 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 Very fair. Very fair. So, weather, equipment, bike, health and condition. Let's talk about the mentals. Mentally, how would I prepare myself if this was my first ride for the first time? I hadn't had a chance to do this before. How would I mentally prepare myself?
I would say, obviously, if you know people that have ridden before, definitely reach out. You know what I mean? Find out things that have worked for them, things that they experienced, haven't experienced. Before I did my ride last year, like I said, little mama, she coached me through everything. And then one of my good friends, BT, he told me exactly what to put in my toolkit so that
Mm-hmm.
if anything happened to my bike, because I know how to do maintenance, basic maintenance on it, I would have
Mm-hmm.
the tool to do it to get me to where I needed to go.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely say do your homework.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's, I don't go on forums, but people is probably the better resource. Um, and have a good playlist for your music. Yeah.
True. True.
Yeah.
Or have a good imagination. I
Yeah.
would say. Yeah. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
No, that was pretty much it. Yeah.
As you were saying that, I was thinking to myself, the 10 is kind of easy for me. True, I'm being out there. I wrote the 10 a lot. So the 10, I can kind of sleepwalk it because the familiarity. But say for this time, this year, I had an opportunity to ride the 70 and the 80. And what I did, and this was coming from something that the wife said to me one time. This, wife has subtle ways to question things. Yeah, the wife said one time, I think it was like my second time going across the 10. She says, she looked at me, she says, this is probably like 2 in the morning. She goes, you think you ready to make that ride? And I go, nope. She said, oh. I said, but mentally, I am.
Mm-hmm.
Physically, I'm not, but mentally, I am. And I'm saying this to say that what I did for the 70 and the 80, the beauty of YouTube today is I was able to pull up videos and watch a real reality of a GoPro, elapsed time. And I
Mm-hmm.
was able to watch a truck driver who ran the 70 and the 80. And I was able to see what he was seeing from the cab of the truck going all the way across America in elapsed time. And I did mental reps of what he did on the truck. So as I was riding, my mental my mental familiarity started to kick in. It was like we do in the Marine Corps, it's like a sand table exercise,
Yeah.
if you will. And that's how I start mentally preparing myself to do what I had to do. And I just wonder sometimes if it wouldn't be a great idea for all of our riders to do mental reps.
Yeah. So you know what to
Physicals,
expect. Hmm.
yeah, so you know what to expect because when you mentally know what to expect, the element of surprise is not there. Uh, you have mental mile markers, so let's be honest, the boredom sets in. It's like, oh, we there yet, and
Hmm.
you know this, as you crossing ridge lines when you're coming across northern Texas or New Mexico, where there could be 30, 40, 50 miles, and you see this huge ridge line, and you say that's just only a couple miles, and you find out that it's all damn day, and then you get to ridge
Right.
line. Then you coming down the ridge line, and you say, "Damn, there's another damn ridge line." So that I'm sure that plays games with you. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. And you know what? That kind of is true because we took the 70 back through Colorado and everything, and when we were getting
Nice,
through Utah, I think it was Utah.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
well,
felt like we were going up, climbing up,
yeah,
like
yeah.
through the rocks and everything forever.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. It
I was
it
not
is.
prepared
It's a
for
different
that.
world, isn't it? It's a
Yeah.
different world. It's a different world. So, just some food for thought for those who are out there that's listening to us today, man. Just there's no one way to do this, and that's why I enjoy this whole social experiment because there is many ways to navigate cross country or to traverse cross country on a motorcycle, and there's many ways to do it. There's no one right way, and this way is tons. Is that fair to say?
Hmm.
Okay, so you see Emma, she rock out the way she rock out. She's in jeans. You see Sarge, I'm gonna wear some riding suits. You see some guys that gonna rock chaps. I would never suggest you rock shorts. Is that fair?
Yeah. Shorts and
Don't do
sneakers
that.
are a no for me.
Shorts and sneakers is a no go. Definitely. Bars. You put new bars on. Was it for a specific reason? Was it for looks, or was it
Uh,
gave you a little bit better maneuverability with the bike?
yeah. So I'm smaller. Like I said, I'm 5'2", so I got a short reach. And on the newer 2025s, they put like they're not ape hangers, but they're like 12-inch. They're tall for me.
They got an
So.
extension from the
Mhm.
triple tree kind of. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
for me to do U-turns and stuff, I was damn near sitting on my tank. So
Oh
that's
wow.
why I went and I got I think they're called Road Runners by Kraus, and they're like
Uh huh.
fully adjustable. You could adjust them like from the bars coming in, like the handle
Uh huh.
part, and then you can adjust them
There
from
you
the
go.
base
Right
of
there.
it.
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So they kind of they're low, but they kind of pull back to you a little bit. Is
And you
that
could pull them back or push them forward as much as you want.
okay? Okay. Very cool. Very cool. Okay. So it really helped with your maneuvering of the bike, and you can tell a big difference.
But I did have to get used to them because, like I said, I bought the bike right before I went on deployment, and the bars were new on my 22 Road Glide that I had. I had like T bars, so the spacing was narrow, So I got
Mm-hmm.
used to dipping my bike like that, and these ones they're wider, so that was just
Mm-hmm.
one thing that I had to get used to. But it they were nice because it didn't make my body tired or anything. I wasn't reaching too much.
Mm-hmm. Says okay. So I'm jumping down the rabbit hole with you now. So 5'2". So did you have to lower the bike at all?
So I'm hella stubborn.
Okay.
So um I haven't lowered any of my bikes, sport
Nice.
bikes,
Okay.
any of them. But I do wear boots
Yeah.
like
With the
99% of the time, and they get me to at
the
least like
heels.
5'5".
Yeah.
And I've mastered like the art of leaning all the weight to one side, or if I'm backing into a spot, like grab the brake, rock and release. So
Yeah.
um,
So at a stoplight, you're doing more like leaning a little over, or you how are you pretty good? But you wear boots with pretty. higher heels
Yeah, they usually get me
type.
to be probably like 5'5", 5'6" with my boots on. Hmm.
Okay, good. Okay. So as we move this thing into home, man, we're rocking with Emma B, man, talking about her West Coast edition of the ride. We're gonna bring this thing into the last segment. We're gonna talk about the good, the bad, the ugly of riding cross country. So there's no rules to this, Emma B. You just tell us the way you feel and what you think every rider should know with making this ride. And at the end, I'm gonna throw a little cheat code in there. I want you to talk lastly about really what you learned about yourself. So we're gonna let you go. You got room. Let's go for it.
um, so the good for me riding cross country is like I love riding. I'm not in a motorcycle club. I do enjoy going to events every now and then, but like I legit enjoy the scenery, the different roads, like meeting different riders along the way. So that's the good part. The bad part, I would say, not really bad, the challenging part, for me on this one specifically was riding with the group and dealing with multiple different personalities and trying to balance that. Um, and then, I was blessed enough on my last rides to have no issues with my bikes really. This purple bike that I have now, I named her Princess because this whole ride, she was leaking oil. I went through a point where my rear tire was the whole right hand side of it was covered in oil and it was pouring rain, so I was having to make sure that I rode correctly. So like little things like that added stressors. But really it's challenging, but it's worth it, and I plan on doing it some more. So I would say for sure the good is it outweighs the ugly.
Okay, fair. You know, and when you said, and I think this is for all of us, and I'm gonna share a quick story if you don't mind. I'll let you dovetail onto it. Uh, I'm retired from Soul Brothers MC. Shout out to my homies. Um, many years of riding with my chapter brothers and some of my other chapters on the West Coast and all the cool stuff that comes along with it. And I know I don't care what it is or what the situation. Riding long distances, it brings a lot out of all of us. There's sleep deprivation. There's physical stressors. There's conditions of the road. There's weather. There's so much stuff that comes into that. What would you tell riders who are going to be riding with a group or a pack? And because I get it all the time, I get riders who might say, "Hey, Sarge, me and my club brothers or sisters or my whoever, we're going to ride together." What would you tell them that they need to do before making a ride? What would be the uncomfortable conversation that you think is fair that you should have with a person before riding a long distance ride?
I think the most in my mind it's common, right? But when you leave as a pack, like you said, discuss the health concerns, but more importantly, understand that we're starting it together. We're gonna
Mm-hmm.
end it together, no matter how upset, how pissed off you get in your feelings at gas stop number 20. You're never gonna hop on your bike and say, I'm out, I'm finishing this by myself. Like I
Mm-hmm.
think that is the most important thing, to have the understanding, no matter how pissed off you get, upset you get, frustrated you get, that you don't storm off on your bike by yourself, because personally I think that's when bad shit happens. And then on top of
Mm-hmm.
that, it's like, you're choosing to do this, in my mind, like as a family.
Mm-hmm.
And if one's leaving, that's showing like the ultimate, like, I'm on my own. If something happens, there's going to be guilt involved, there's going to be blame involved. So I think, to me, that's the really most important conversation that needs to be had before you decide to do a ride with certain individuals.
Yeah, I agree. It's tough, like I said, and riding can bring a lot of difficulties, but it just is what it is. I always say, before everybody take off and ride these long distances, when you're riding 100 miles, 200 miles, really, it's not a big of a deal. But when you're talking 7 grand, you're talking 6 grand, 5 grand, it really does. It tests you mentally, physically, because sometimes you're not getting a good night rest. Sometimes the weather conditions are taking its toll on you. Sometimes pre-existing complications with health has an issue. Sometimes, like me, I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes I just want to choke the daylights out of my club brothers. I'm just keeping it funky. It just was what it was. Sometimes a club brother wants to have a smoke. Sometimes one want to have a Mountain Dew. So there's always a bunch of stuff going on. But ultimately, the most important thing, and you let me know if you agree or disagree, is getting back home safe.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah. Well, you guys did an awesome job. It was the ladies, it was the guys. You guys worked hand in hand as a tandem because you went through a bunch of stuff, maintenance issues and weather
Yeah.
issues, and you guys did what you had to do. Some days wasn't pretty, some days were fun, but ultimately you guys made it happen. So I thank you for being on with us today. I thank you for caring enough for sharing your ride with us, and because of you guys putting yourself out there for us, you're going to make us better motorcycle riders. What you think about that?
No, I appreciate you having me for sure. I don't like talking on camera and stuff, but
Well, you did a great job today. You and the fellows, I appreciate you guys for everything that you do. What would be some last words you want to leave us with? Where can we find Emma B? What is Emma B going to do in the future? What's her next ride? What's going on?
so you can find me I'm mostly on Instagram, and my thing, whatever it's called, hashtag is EmmaB117. And I mean, I try to do a long distance ride once a year as the military allows me. Usually it's around like the end of September, because as you know, that's when leave expires if you don't use it.
Right.
But I have 20 states right now, and they're all, the southern states. So next year I plan on hitting those northern states.
Awesome.
Maybe Canada. We'll see.
Awesome. Good deal. Well, there you go, man. There you go. The famous Emma B. What rider number are you, Emma B? Let me pull your number up. What rider number are you?
353, I think.
353 on the dot. Let's give it a Dom DeMarco.
Dom DeMarco.
That's what's up, man. Because of riders like Emma B, we're going to be better motorcycle riders. This is Each One Teach One platform. It's the social experiment. Not always is it sexy, but damn it, we're going to get it done, man. And we're going to inspire people to get off their couch and be your motorcycle greatness. So, Emma B, we appreciate you. Hopefully we'll see you again in the future doing great rides all over America, and we'll be watching out for you.
All right, Sarge. Thank you.
Thank you. God bless. We'll
right,
see you. Take care. Bye-bye. Okay, there you have it, man. Emma B, rider number 353, just successfully made her I-10 to the end ride, man. Awesome job. Great job, man. Made it look way too easy, man. But we all know, all of us who make these rides, man, it ain't always as sexy as the picture might think. You might think, looking at the picture, man, we see the sign. We smiling in front of the Texas sign. We smiling in front of the California sign. That's 2 seconds of smiles, man, knowing good and well that was 10, 12 hours of a butt whipping on that highway, man, riding on that seat and shoulders hurting from the bar. But they were inspired and they pushed on and they did it, man. And because of people like them inspiring us to do what we do, we will always be better motorcycle riders from that, man. So shout out to her. Shout out to Down to Pound. And oh, by the way, stay tuned. Tomorrow, man, we'll have Chantel, the other half, the last wheel of the 4 wheels, doing the I-10, and we'll be doing her podcast interview as well, man. So shout out to everybody who came on and rocked with us this evening and gave us a little bit of your time. We appreciate you guys. And I appreciate, man, my hardcore supporters of the Iron Elite podcast show. A couple nights ago, I want to say last evening, man, I'm happy to say, let's do this, man. We went over 2,000 subscribers to the Iron Elite podcast show. And I know, man, so just some people out there got 50 million. I get it, man. But for us, we have 2,000 hardcore subscribers to the channel, and I greatly appreciate it, man. We're almost at 1 million views, man. God willing, we should be at 1 million views here soon. So we're rocking it, man, and we're doing our thing on the podcast show. This has been a long journey, man. I appreciate you guys. It's been tough. It's been long days. It's been long nights. It's been, you name it, man. But you guys have been rocking with us. And because of that, we're going to get better and bigger than what we do. And I promise you, if you keep supporting the platform, I'm going to continue to put everything I have into the platform to making it better and better and better. Something that we could be proud of. I hear people say, Sarge, you ought to get these people to support it. You ought to get this company to support it. I get you, man. I appreciate your advice. And I think for the most part, everybody means well when they say that. But it's ours, man. Imagine instead of getting them to do it, we do it. Imagine don't worry about getting them to support it. We support it. When we support it, that's the true power. That's the true power. It ain't just money alone. It's just not resources alone. It's the people behind the movement. If you get enough people behind the movement will move mountains, man. And that's what we're trying to do on the platform, man. So thank you to all the faithful supporters who rock with the program day and night, no matter what time of day that we're on. People, Sarge, can you get a steady day? No, I can't, man. We got a day job and we got a bunch of stuff going on. So we have to do it when we have to do it. But I promise you, when we do it, we're going to bring things worthwhile for you when we have the show, man. So shout out to my riders. K9MC just finished up the I-10 a couple of days ago. So they keep them in your prayers, man, as they're heading back home to the East Coast, Hinesville and Savannah and Fayetteville, man. So keep them in their prayers. Shout out to Dollar, man, from Savannah Reb Reed, making it back to Savannah. Last time I checked on him, he was, I want to say he was cutting through Eastern Texas. Shout out to Joe Fan, man. The episode of Where Joe At and Who Did Joe Met Today, man. Joe Fan just finished up the Mother Road US Route 66, man. Just did that great ride. That historic ride. So now he's I-10ing it to home, trying to make it back to Florida. Last time I talked to Joe was rolling up in El Paso, Texas. And I got my 2 guys that'll be heading out tomorrow morning. So more to follow on those guys as we launch them at 7 a.m. in the morning. So can't stop, won't stop. I-10 to the end. So in the meantime, in between time, man, y'all keep it motorcycling. You dig? Peace.
Hey now, it's your girl Piper, the 2025 Iron Elite Female Titan, and you're now tuned in to Sarge on the Iron Elite Podcast Show, home of the Ground Pounders Reunion and the Coast to Coast Run, the social experiment, where motorcycling is not just a hobby, it's a lifestyle. You dig? Now like, share, subscribe, and follow for all things motorcycling, and I'll see you on the slabs.
What's good, people? This is Reef, the Reef and King Solo's official ride to eat in your 2025 Titan. Coming to you from Big Sarge's Iron Elite Podcast. We need y'all to like, subscribe, share, and tune in to stay abreast of all the latest Iron Elite news.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this your man Kodak, the most hated, coming to you live from the Iron Elite Podcast with my man Big Sarge, where we always keep you motorcycling. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. You know what it is.
Hey y'all, it's Snacks reminding you to tune in to the Iron Elite podcast. You dig?
I ain't got too much to say, but y'all make sure y'all bring that same energy out here next week.